everybody, Tony D with one last hot take. This one is about the CHAZ, otherwise known as Wokistan, a novel come to life. If you haven't read my novel, Wokistan, a novel, co-written by me and co-written by Christian Baranek, you really should, because we pretty much predicted this. And it's a little scary how close it is to the book. Our book, of course, takes place on a college campus, not in the middle of Seattle, but it very well, with a little tweaking, could have been the same damn thing. We, of course, portray the campus slowly disintegrating because the college students have no knowledge of the, plumbing and water and electricity and all that kind of stuff. And you have to keep that going in a society, right? You need people who are blue collar who repair this stuff. You need lights and electricity and heat and air conditioning in the summer. These college kids don't know how to do that. These college kids don't work. They haven't worked yet. Or they're in Antifa and they really don't work. They'd rather sit around their coffee shops sipping cappuccinos and talking about communism and how it's going to work someday, how real communism has never been tried. Well, now you're getting a little taste of communism. How's it going, CHAZ? Yeah, you can keep running the optics on this. The media loves this. They're having a field day saying, oh, everything's great in the CHAZ, And in the daytime, it's pretty chill, right? Because in the daytime, most people are civil. Most people are fine. Most people can see everything. So it's hard to, you usually don't start a fight in the middle of the day, right? Or in the morning. Fights happen at night, typically, because people can't see as well. People maybe get a little grabby. I've seen video after video of the crime going on in this CHAZ, and it's pretty scary. People threatening each other, people stealing from each other. It's happening. There's no sense in denying it because every denial makes those videos more relevant. And just because the mainstream media is fronting for you, you have to understand no one's watching the mainstream media anymore, and no one believes it. I mean, there's a handful of older people. Yeah, they believe it, but those people are terrified of what you've done. And you could present it as Summer of Love all you want, but it doesn't look like Summer of Love to them because the older people were actually around during the Summer of Love. That was in a field. That was a bunch of hippies. They didn't wear black and bandanas. They didn't hurt people. They didn't embrace violence or carry guns. In fact, they were very anti-gun. Very anti-gun. They were very peaceful. And that's what people liked about the hippies. They were relatively harmless. They were smelly and annoying, but relatively harmless. And some of the girls were hot, and it was all about free love. So that was a big plus. What's it about in the CHAZ? Well, communism, which doesn't work. And your wacky gardens, which aren't big enough to feed people, and you're doing it poorly. There's the video of them having a game of dodgeball and getting into an argument because everybody has to win. That's not going to work either. And then there's the video of the guy asking everybody to give all the white people to give all the black people $10. I mean, what's going on there is insane. The guy wielding the machete, the guy wielding the chainsaw, the guy who got his car stolen, and another person who got everything stolen. Look, they're post on Reddit about this. Things are not going well in the CHAZ because there's no cops. Because you guys don't know how to make a safe area. If you did, you would have thought this out better. You wouldn't have picked a place like downtown Seattle. I mean, you thought you were just going to take the place over and it would run exactly like it ran when the cops protected it? No. It's really hard. This stuff is really hard. It's really hard to run a society, isn't it? You guys protested against the walls, but that's the first thing you built at the CHAZ. You built walls. I thought you were all about open immigration. Don't you want people to come to the CHAZ? Don't you want them to walk right in? No Trump, no wall, no USA at all. All you needed to put up was a sign, right? So take down the walls. Live by your own ideology. Get rid of the guns. You don't need guns. No one needs a gun, right? Only a coward hides behind a gun. Get rid of your cops. Let everybody do what they want to do. Isn't that what you preached? Isn't that what everybody preached? Isn't that why people are coming to the CHAZ? Who are these people are you letting take over with guns? Thought this was going to all be cool. If you want to get out of this, there's really only one way. The first way is just dismantle the CHAZ, let everybody go home, and call it a day. Stop embarrassing yourselves. You're basically running a 24-hour commercial for Donald Trump. Second way is you would have to actually get organized. And part of what you need to do is provide security. So my suggestion would be is to calculate how many security officers, quote unquote, you actually have. And then put them on patrol at night. Like 90% of them, because you probably don't have enough. Most of them should be patrolling the streets at night. And at night is when you should man the barricades and be very careful about who comes in and who comes out. Unfortunately, even that's not really going to work because even the guys you pick, I mean, they're probably going to be in on any drug deals that go down. They'll probably easily bribe. They're not very disciplined, most of them. So, and they would need communication devices to communicate with each other and coordinate defense, which you probably don't have either. I mean, you need military guys in order to organize that stuff, or guys who work for the police, and you don't have any of that. What you have is an increasingly large population of wackadoos and misfits who just gravitate towards the CHAZ thinking they're getting a free handout, thinking they're entering something that's great and wonderful and they're going to be part of something. It's going to be great. But all the footage coming out of there gets scarier and scarier every minute. You're losing control of the place, and you're going to lose control of it. It's exactly what Trump is waiting for, to happen. And I get it. You're laying the groundwork to blame the right-wing lunatics who sabotaged you. That really isn't going to flush if nobody really openly attacks you. And it looks like the Hells Angels was just a rumor. The Bikers for Trump was just a rumor. And Trump is just egging your mayor on. She's so full of herself, I don't even think she realizes you've called for her to resign. They want to defund the Seattle PD. And the poster said, defang the mayor. And it's a picture of her with, missing her teeth. And it says, abolish the SPD. She'd be a fool to do that now. An absolute fool. Especially since you've called for her recall. And her defunding the police would just make everything go citywide. The CHAZ would go citywide. And then you'd have some real problems. Many of you would just leave the city. Your parents certainly will be leaving the city, especially if they have a business. They'll sell it off and get the hell out of there. I think a lot of people are going to do that if this is allowed to continue. The mayor, as you already have said, is not your friend. She's going to make a political calculation at some point. If Trump doesn't take the bait, if you get too out of hand, and it will get out of hand, she's going to send in the cops. She's going to find an excuse. She's going to wait until something so horrible happens that she'll be justified in sending in the cops, and she'll say, well, I had to send in the cops. You started a fire, or someone was killed, or whatever happened. And then where are you going to be? The cops are going to be back in the precinct. and you're going to look like idiots. But you are idiots. What you should do is close it down peacefully now. You would gain something by that. You would gain credibility. And when they ask you, well, why are you closing it down? Well, we have more thinking to do for the next time. And then when you do it again, maybe you'd be ready. Maybe you'd have the seeds ready so you could do your farming. Maybe you'd have a plan for security. You know, you could plan it all out. This is sort of a trial run, right? Next time you could do it right. You could buy the fencing and get some other stuff going. Not this sort of hodgepodge mess you got going on. Someone's going to get killed. Someone's going to get killed if it hasn't happened already. And, you know, the rapes and robberies and all the stuff that's going to come out of the CHAZ, that's all going to come out. Someone's going to write a book. Someone's going to write a web post. I mean, it's already leaking. You guys can't run that place. You definitely can't plug all the leaks. So think about getting out. Think about just closing it down. That would be your best move. Or continue to run the Trump commercial for 2020 24/7.